Smart Control was created to increase safety, reduce unnecessary cost, and make emissions reporting easier for your project. We've created this digital tool around what insights you've told us that you would like to see from your projects. Since we know that every project is unique, we have created a module-based system so that you pick and choose the modules that are correct for your project. So now let's dive into Smart Control to see how it works. The first thing you will see when you log into Smart Control is a brief summary of your current status. Here you will see active alerts for your project, overdue equipment, which is equipment that you have said you should return but you have not yet returned. Equipment that is approaching the return date, meaning it's within 1 week of the return date, as well as unassigned equipment, which is equipment you have not assigned to any employees yet. And the last box here will show you unused connected machines. So this is machines where we gather telematics data, and then we see that this machine has stood still for a number of days. Then it is marked as unused. So as I said, there's several different modules. The first one we're going to look at is Manage Fleet. Because Smart Control is connected directly into our rental system, any machine that you rent from Cramo will automatically appear here. So here you can see what you've rented, how many units you've rented, and as well as the daily rate. Because we know that you don't only have machines from Cramo, we've also given you the option of adding your own equipment. This way you can get a complete overview over your entire fleet in Smart Control. That means only one system to log into to see everything on your job site. For equipment that you've rented from Cramo, you can also see what you have planned, so what's coming into the job site in the next couple of days, as well as anything that you've already returned. We've also given you the option of taking a few actions on these machines. So you can, for example, order a return, edit the planned return date, or assign the equipment to an employee. So that's what Manage Fleet does. It gives you a complete overview of all your machines in one system, and it also gives you the option to order returns and assign the equipment to employees. The next module we're going to look at is Cost Control. We've created Cost Control to help you keep track of all the cost connected to machines you've rented from Cramo. You have the option of adding your own budget if you would like, and then we can do a comparison of the actual cost versus the budget that you have put in. And based on the planned return date that you've told us, we also can do a forecast, both for the current month and the upcoming months, of how much you're going to spend on your rental equipment. If we go down here, you can get a more detailed view and you can look at specific machines and see the daily rate as well as the total cost. And you can separate this per month as well, so you can look at last month and then see how many days the machine was on rent that month and then the total cost for that time period. Now we're going to have a look at telematics. So for many of our machines, we are able to collect telematics data. So that we use this to show you on a map where the machine is. So if you lose it, you can also have a look at the map here and see where it is. And down here, you'll see any telematics connected machine. So you'll see the ID number of the machine, as well as the operating hours and when it was last used. We like to alert you of unused machines so that you can return them and then avoid any unnecessary cost on your project. So in this case, you can see that the machine was last used 76 days ago, so then it is marked as unused. If you drill down on a specific machine, you will see the type of machine, the ID number. Again, you will be able to zoom in on the map here if you're unsure of where to find the machine. And if you go to machine data, you can see the usage over the last 14 days. If you are using this in connection with smart keys, you will be able to see an operator history here and see who has used the machine. Now we're moving on to Smart Keys. Smart Keys allows you to hand out digital keys to some of your employees so that you have complete control over who is using your machines. So when you click on Smart Keys, you'll see a list of any Smart Key connected machine on your job site. You will see how many operators currently have access to it, and you can easily assign keys to any new employee that you would like to use this machine, like so. The Energy and Climate module is all about giving you actionable insights into the conditions on your job site. So we have multiple different sensors that we can work with here. We can measure concrete, climate conditions, dust levels, CO2 emissions, and energy consumption. So we will use energy as a little sneak peek here. When we go into the report, we can see a summary of your consumption since the start of the project, the consumption the last 30 days, and whether this consumption has been inside or outside of working hours. Here you can see a nice little bar graph that shows you the consumption per day, and you can easily export this data to continue working with it as you would like. If you have multiple smart control projects, we can also set up an Insights module. In Insights, we gather information from all your projects to give you actionable insights that you can easily act on. So under the Productivity tab, you will see a list of overdue equipment per project, as well as the cost of all of this overdue equipment, so that you can either return it or you can change the return date if that is what is needed. You can also see a summary of the unused machines that you have in each project and the total amount of machines. If we move over to the Sustainability tab, you will get an estimate of the CO2 emissions from your project. If we are doing a monitoring of your electricity consumption, that will be estimated here. We will also then give an estimate of the CO2 emissions from your combustion-driven machines based on the runtime of each machine. You can also see a monthly report of the CO2 estimates. This you can easily export to continue working with in your own systems. Now you've seen a little sneak peek of what Smart Control can do for you and your projects. Get in touch with us today and we will help you get started.